Hello people, today we're going to be doing some flowers and some ribbons, and this is going to mostly be a lesson in what to do when everything you're trying to do goes horribly wrong and you've got to make something out of the mess that you've got. That is what happened for me this week. So we're going to be starting in. I've got my nails all prepped, and I did my fills yesterday, or the day before I shot this, actually. We're starting with white. We're going to be doing 2 coats of the white. And this was one of those things where absolutely nothing went to plan, and I had to switch gears pretty much right off the bat, and then again midway through. So instead of not having anything to put up for you guys this week, I just decided to go with this. I apologize ahead of time. This is not my best work. And quite frankly, I came very close to stripping these all the way off and starting over again. But I just didn't have the time to deal with that. So they are what they are, and we're just going to go with it. Now, well, I'll wait till we get to that part, but we're just going in with the white, thin layers of white. That's why it's so streaky looking, and we don't want it to wrinkle. And I don't remember if I said or not, but when I'm curing white or black or anything really a darker color like a navy blue or sometimes the darker greens too, I will, and the red, I will cure them for a longer time than I normally do. Normally I cure everything for 60 seconds, but I'll give them 90 seconds just to be sure that they're cured all the way through, as I do not want any wrinkling. Frankly, that's the only thing that didn't happen during this mani, is I didn't have any wrinkling. Everything else went wrong. It's one of those situations where you just got to make it work or start over. And as I said, I didn't really have time this week to do them again, so we have to make it work. Needless to say, these did not come out anything close to the plan I originally wanted, but I did want to make sure I went with the red, white, and blue color palette just because of being 4th of July month. But I did not feel like doing the typical 4th of July nails, so this is what we got. I promise next time will be much better ones. If I got something that if it works is going to be pretty cool for next time. So I'll just leave you with that little teaser. And when we get this one on here, we're going to cure again, and then I will do the rest of these off camera. In case you're noticing, I didn't get my ends of my nails capped really well on some of them. So when later on, I'm going to have white gel paint out. I just painted over the ends of them with that, which looked a little weird until I top coated, and now they look fine. Okay, these are the brushes I got. These are different kind of petal brushes. I'm not going to blame the brushes for what goes on in this video. I believe it's my technique that is not right. Okay, this is the stuff I wanted to use. It's this kind of thick gel that's got a texture to it. And what I wanted to do was do like a brushed embroidery type of flower, but it didn't pan out because I could not get that stuff to go on smoothly no matter what I tried. It's really thick, so there was no way it was going to go on with a brush and be nice and look nice. So I don't know what you call that other stuff. If anybody knows what to do with it, I'm all ears. Let me know in the comments. Right now, this is the white gel paint. So this is already plan B now. I'm going to put some of that on the palette. Just ignore those chrome nail things there off to the side. I did a little bit of practicing on part of that. Now I've got some blue pigments. I'm going to use the lightest color there at the bottom, and then later on I'm going to darken it up with a tiny bit of the real blue one, the light, you know, crayon blue, that blue that was near the top of that stack of pigments. Okay, this is the one we're going to use for this. This one had a bit of a shimmery kind of, not pearl, but kind of a shimmeriness to it. So I am digging around probably in my drawer right now looking for something to scoop it out with. I rearranged my desk drawer that's right in front of where I sit recently, so now I can't find my stuff as quick as I used to. So I'm going to scoop out a little bit of that pigment, and then we're just going to mix it into that paint. This is the white gel paint from Saviland, I think I said, or didn't. I don't know. I'm not having, this whole week, I'm not having a good week, and today has not been any better, so bear with me. Now, I got a lot of this pigment in here. I probably didn't need quite as much as I put in there, but that's what we got. So this is the first time that I've really done pigment mixing into anything other than just brushing it on top of stuff, and, you know, like the neon pigments we use for things. So I'm just getting it mixed in. And then I will try and clean off most of that. Set that aside. Or not. I guess I'm cleaning it off there, which I shouldn't have bothered with because I'm going to need it again in a while. Okay, it's not clean. Oh, there it goes. And look, I've slopped blue onto my nail. Oh, for Pete's sake. See what I'm talking about? It's like everything went wrong. This is everything. Everything I touched just kind of turned to crap this week. All right, that's the brush I started off using right there. Now, these should work the same way as the little petal, skinny petal brush I did a while back on that set of purple nails. But as I said before, I don't blame the brush for this. I think a lot of this is my issue with technique. I think a lot of this is kind of similar to the one-stroke painting, which I don't know how to do. I've tried and I just can't get it. I mean, I've watched numerous videos. I've just tried and it just comes out looking like crap every time. So I know there's a technique to it that I clearly haven't figured out yet. But anyway, we tried. We'll just carry on and go along with what we're doing. Also, on top of this, where I had slopped that blue all over the side of my finger, I totally forgot to wipe it off before it cured. So then I had to spend like 10 minutes trying to scrape it off with some oil and a cuticle pusher. It's like, oh man. All right, we're going to go with this one. On this one, I was just going to do like a big flower going, like a half a flower, so it's like going off the side. I think part of the problem with this was these brushes are kind of big, so I need kind of a bigger area for, for the flowers to be. Like if I had a longer nail maybe, or wider, I don't know. But I did have some problems. Now, they don't look that bad when they're at this level, at this point, but okay, I've cured those. And now, as you'll notice, that blue is a skosh darker. I mixed in that darker blue just a tiny bit. Now I'm going to go around these again, and I'm going to go like between those first petals and just do a shorter one with this slightly darker blue. I think this whole thing is on how you hold the brush, and I'm clearly not quite doing it right. Okay, now when you look at it, we have a big blob of 2 different shades of blue that doesn't really look like anything now. See? At that point, I was just completely discouraged and just about ready to throw in the towel. Now see on my thumb where there's more room, how it does look nicer. I think just trying to squeeze them into those littler ones just was not panning out very well. And also, I think I scrunched it down too much so it got too fat at the bottom. And now we have another big blue blob on top of those other flower petals. All right, now we're going back in. Those have all been cured. We're going back in with the white gel paint now. I'm going to get a little more out. Why, I don't really know why I got that much. Didn't even need only a teeny bit of that. But oh well. Frankly, by the time I got this set done, I was just happy to be done and get the heck out of here. All right, now in between doing the petal part and doing this part, I had to stop and go feed my cats, get the mail, I'll go out and water my plants outside. So by the time I got back, and we're dealing with 95-degree weather, I was so exhausted and just sweaty and just aggravated. So when I came back in here, things did not go all that smoothly. And I was already at a stage where I just didn't care anymore. But, it is what it is. So we had to make it work. So I've got my detailer brush now. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and outline the darker blue petals. And we're just going to leave the lighter ones in the background. Now this did help a lot, so they didn't look so blobby, but they still are. I'm still not happy with them. Let me just say that. If I would have had more time this week, I would have stripped these down and just did something else completely different, but I didn't, so. I'm trying to keep my lines fairly thin on these. This part here I have left in real time. I mean, it didn't take a real long time to do this part, but it is delicate. And as you can see, part of my being so hot and aggravated at that point is my hands were getting a little shaky, which does not help at all when you're trying to paint nice thin lines. But luckily with these flower petals, they didn't need to be perfect lines. They could be a little waggly looking in some parts. And I'm out of shot now, so you can't even see it. Okay, it looks like I've got that one done, and we'll move on to the blob in the middle. The one positive thing I could say is at least my being able to do thin lines has gotten a lot better than it used to be. Now where have I gone? Oh, okay. I got a jar of acrylic out that I was going to use to put my hand up on because my fingers and everything was all shaky and it was starting to really get on my nerves. Okay, I was hoping that was going to be a little steadier. It really ended up not being, but it was okay. At least it'll keep it fairly still so you guys can see it at this part. I don't remember, I don't think I show any more after this. I think these are the only two that I'm showing you painting the flower lines on, or the petal lines. When I originally envisioned this set using that kind of a, more of a, I don't know, a dusty kind of a, maybe colonial type of blue that had the texture to it, I wanted to do a brushed embroidery type flower like I've seen on cake decorating, but I could not figure out how to get that stuff, which I don't even know what to call it because it doesn't really have a name on the pot that it's in. I couldn't get it to go with a brush at all. I mean, I tried using the petal brush and it just would not cooperate at all. I mean, it's so thick and sandy, you can't get any nice smooth stuff with it. So frankly, I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with it unless I can figure out how to use it properly. But I was picturing, you know, like you have the 3D stickers of flowers, and they're really like they're raised around the flower edges, and then the inside is flat. That's what I was kind of picturing, but no luck. Okay, moving on. We've cured those. And these are the stickers I ended up using for the ribbons. I got these fairly recently off of AliExpress, along with those petal brush set that you saw at the beginning. And I thought these were kind of cool. Now, the blue on these blue ones actually matched that color that was in the pot of that other stuff perfectly, and that would have looked nice together, but being that didn't pan out, we're now having to use these. They don't look the same with the other blue. So, you know, it's one of those, well, this is what we're doing, and that's how it's going to be. Now, peeling these guys off, I didn't have any problem, although once I got, the whole thing wanted to stick on my silicone mat there, but once I started to get these off, I didn't have any trouble. Where I did run into a little problem with these is if you see, like, down the center of the ribbon, there's like a skinny line of that kind of blue stuff, whatever you want to call it, that's outlined with. There's like a skinny line down the middle of the ribbon. Some of those popped off in the process of my sticking these on. So I had to end up getting glue, or, you know, nail glue, and gluing that middle strip back on some of them. So, you know, take out of that what you will. If you like these, it might be worth having. I also have some more of these in purple. So I'll be using them eventually somewhere. I mean, they're kind of neat. I thought they were kind of different and kind of neat looking, and look, we're stuck to the mat again. And they're real thick and kind of rubbery too. And also, I know from in the past using these like 3D type stickers like this, they're thick, so sometimes they want to come up around the edges. They don't want to stick down. So you got to give them a good top coat, especially around the edges of them. That will help hold them down. All right, now this guy did not want to cooperate, and I'm way out of the shot now. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Maybe. I was trying to get it right at the edge, and I didn't want to stick it all the way on there, and trying to do it with one hand when I don't have two hands to hold things. But we eventually got it on there. I'm going to stick it down. Now, I don't know if you see that little one in the middle of that. It's starting to come loose now. Luckily, all those little bits that fell off landed right in the middle of there on my desk, and I saw them, so I could just glue them back on. But that was a whole nother thing I wasn't expecting to have to fool around with. All right, we've got all those on. Now we are moving on to putting caviar beads into the center of the flowers, and here's where the red comes into the red, white, and blue. I'm just going to put some gem glue in the middle of the flowers, and we're going to put a little cluster of these red caviar beads in there. Also, if you may notice on some of my fingers, as you can see of me working here, at the top of the petals, I went back with my brush, with no paint on the brush, just, you know, the clean brush, and I just dragged, before I cured, a little bit of that from the top edge down into the petals. So they have really kind of faint looking little lines at the top of the petals that come down in. You can kind of sort of see them if I'm holding still here a little. But these guys, we're going to just cluster them up. in all the centers. I am also going to put some on the ribbon nails, just a little bit, so they tie in with these other nails at least somewhat. I was trying to make the thing look cohesive, but it's like we got apples and oranges here, and they just were not going together well. They didn't play well together. And here's one of the ribbon nails. I'm just going to put some around that little white dot thing that's there, that little ball of white. Quite frankly, these flowers to me look a lot like poinsettias if they were red with yellow centers or gold in the center. I think they might be cute at Christmas time on something, and maybe I'll revisit that when we get that far, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe by then I will have learned how to do it better. Right in between that little, like those little ridges of that stuff on there, so I'm going to put a little line of these red caviar beads. And as I was doing this part, I was looking at the nails and realizing that some of them looked a little bit bare in places. It looked weird to me. So I am going to be adding some crystals also, which was not part of the original plan either. That was kind of moving on as into plan C at that point. And I don't know where I've gone again here. Not sure what I'm doing. But you can see that little groove I'm trying to get the beads in there. Oh, I see. I probably didn't have enough glue. And I apparently moved on. Okay. These are just going to go ahead. The same thing on the thumbs. Just going to cluster these little guys up in the middle. Okay, that's good enough on there. And we're going to get all those cured up. Or not. When I get back into the shot on this one, you can see at the top of the petals the little lines I was talking about coming down in. Just a few of them, just kind of faint. I didn't want them to be real bold, but I wanted them to just be a little bit, in hopes that it would give the petal some kind of a little bit of maybe dimension. All right, now we're moving on to crystals. Got red, we got clear. I had decided at the top of that middle finger that I'm about to put glue on, it just looked too bare. It needed something, so I'm just going to do a simple cuff with red and white crystals. That'll bring a little bit more red into here. And normally I would use my dotting tool for this, but I already had this thing out and it was just handy. So I figured I may as well use it. It works just the same. And I'm just going to alternate the red and the clear. And the one I had put on the left side of that one was smaller than the rest of these. Instead of, I couldn't find another real small one in there, so I just decided to ditch that one and go back with these others. And I was going to leave these just as they were and not do any caviar beads in between, but I don't know, it just looks unfinished to me if I don't have the caviar beads in there. So, and instead of doing the silver, I had the red ones right there. I just figured I'll carry on and do them with the reds. And it doesn't look bad. It could be, I mean, it's all right. It's not really my cup of tea, but we gotta live with it now. And just the same way we would put the silver ones like in between each crystal, that's what I'm going to do with the reds, and then one at the end of the line to just kind of cap it off. They did not want to get off of my brush either. That was another thing that was fighting me that day. Don't mind my cuticles either. They're kind of a mess again. And I realized I didn't have enough glue on the back side of there, the edge closest to my cuticles, so we had to add some in so we can get this in there. This is so much easier to do when you're working on press-on nails because they're not on your hand. It's just 10 times easier. I enjoy doing those so much more than my own nails. And I don't work on other people either. Well, mainly because I'm not certified, so I can't, or I should say I'm not supposed to. I mean, I could, but I don't like it. I don't like doing my own nails on my hands, and I don't like working on other people. I've done before. I have done acrylics on my mom before in the past, and it just was not a pleasant experience. And I mean, I'm not a real social person, so despite you guys hear me talking constantly on here, I don't talk a lot when I'm around people. So having to sit there and spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours on somebody's nails when they're right there and you don't have a lot to talk about seems really awkward to me. It would be uncomfortable for me to do that. Whoop, there was the hair. There was our requisite hair for the week. Oh, there it is again. I didn't get it the first time. So if you guys have learned nothing else from this video, you at least know that things don't always go smoothly for those of us that are making these videos, and sometimes, you just have to change the plan there and change ships midstream and go on with something else. Make it work, make it work, make it work. I mean, my nails are not horrible. I mean, I just personally, I just don't like them. Anytime I've done a set where I've had a lot of stuff that went wrong and things did not go to the plan I originally had, very seldom do I ever end up liking them at the end. Probably mostly because I've been so aggravated while I was working on them that I'm over it and I don't want to see them anymore. Okay, we got there. We're good. Crystals on. Everything's cured. Now we're going in and we're going with the top coat. I'm going to top coat everything very thoroughly except for the crystals. Like I said, around the edges of these stickers, right where they go along the edge of your finger, if you get it right up to the edge, you want to get that edge coated really well. Also, though, I didn't want a big lake of top coat in the middle of those like ribbon parts. So you'll see me wiping over them a bunch of times. That's me trying to get the excess out of there. This is a no wipe tempered top coat by Venalisa. Yes, I'm still using that up. I'm getting close to the end of the bottle. And hopefully the next one, I've got a huge bottle of this other stuff, the different brand that I got. So hopefully that one will be good because I've got loads of it now. It came highly recommended, so I have high hopes for it. Anyway, I've been liking the tempered top coats, let me just say, as opposed to the regular no-wipe top coat, because it seems to be harder and maybe a skosh thicker. It's pretty good for encapsulating, and it seems to keep my nails, everything intact pretty well. And it's very durable. I mean, I'm outside digging around in the dirt in my nails all the time and, you know, planting things and doing stuff, and they, you know, I never have an issue with them. Very rarely I'll pop one off, and it's usually because I've got my hands. Occasionally I put gloves on if I'm pulling weeds, and you know, sometimes I've popped them off in the glove, but that's my own fault. That's not the product fault. Okay, yay, we're done. And here we are. This is what we're living with now. There's the thumbs. If you liked the video, and I hope you did, despite all the nonsense, give me a like. If you want to see more videos like this, and there'll be better ones than this, go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching my tutorials. That's all I have, and I will see you guys next time. Here's the finished set in the picture I took outside. That's not the best picture either, but, well, I was just in a hurry to get it done. Okay, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.